Today is March 7th, 2025. Just had to make a quick errand to the courthouse today. And, excuse me, I got back and made me my early dinner. The kitty cat's content with her heater, and doggy's content. It's snowing outside. It snowed last night and it melted, and then it snowed again when I got back and changed and got comfy. And that reminds me, I'm gonna get my little blanket on. Yep. But yeah, I had to go to the courthouse again. So we're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna put me in a little bit better mood before I get going. I have to get my reading glasses on. I almost want to start from something different, obviously. Or where should I begin? From the very, very beginning? I think so. That would be a good one. So let's see, the very beginning. The first job I ever had, I worked at Calico Ghost Town. It's a amusement park run by Knott's Berry Farm, Walter Mott. And it's an old silver mining town. It was a fun job right out of high school. And in high school, I should say. I was in high school and right out of high school. But we had to deal with thousands and thousands of people coming through, giving tours, giving directions on the restroom or how to catch the train or the mystery shack or the Maggie mine. And they'd have their the shooting gallery. They had all kinds of fun stuff that me and my sister and all of our friends, our little clique, got to work at. So it was fun to work in high school with some of your closest friends. Because when you were slow during the off season and you saw it at work, you'd have somebody to play Tetris with or share Reader's Digest, or we'd always just go around, pass the time, but we got paid for it. We'd always use the BS. But when I was 17, I worked up there, and it was during one of the festivals, and they had tour buses that were going to Las Vegas, and they have their different cultures on how to use their restrooms. So the ladies would stand on the toilets and not use covers instead of sitting down and using the covers. And so at 17, I'm learning all this stuff, and I'm not having to go anywhere. I'm still in the high desert, still getting a ride because I didn't have my driver's license for my stepdad, me and my sister, and rides home from our friends or whatever. But I remember asking God, like it was like a wish, if I could have anything. And at that time, I was happy. I had a job. I made good money. I was with my friends. I was getting out of high school early. I got to graduate a little bit early. And I remember making this wish that if I could have anything, and it was like a superpower. It was like, I wish I could touch somebody or give them a hug or handshake or, whatever. And they would know everything that I had been through emotionally, like little pictures. They remind me of like those old toys. They used to put the little Spider-Man or whatever they had at the time in there, and you click it and it give you a different picture. But I picture each person having those. But I wanted that for everybody. It wasn't just for me, and that's the kicker of the story. When I wish for something, I wish it for everybody, not just me. But it was like I wanted this so people would leave me alone, so people were disrespectful or mean or conniving. They would know that I've been through enough in my 17 years, only at 17 years old, even though I didn't look 17 or act 17. They would know, okay, to back off. She's been through enough. But me at the same time knowing what they've been through, so if they need extra help, an extra hug or an extra kick in the butt, whatever it may be, then I would back off too. It was a humanitarian thing. I wish everybody that I came in contact, all those thousands of people, had that ability, and we'd all get along and we back off. And if you didn't want people to touch you, you'd be like, okay, well, you have your reasons, and that's fine, Well, all these years later, mind you, I'm 50 years old, but at like 49, I started really good at reading people. Like, I love that job. Plus, I'm a smoker. So I would always go away from people and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go have a cigarette," but really just be by myself, really, because there's so many new people all the time. But no matter where at Disneyland, they'd stick you all the way in the corner, 5 miles from where your friends are standing in line. That's fine. I'd sit there for hours and just people watch, and I could not figure out why I like to people watch. Well, it was like an ability to see everything from different cultures, how they eat, how they stand, how they talk, how they treat their kids, how they drive their cars. If they're coming out, kid you not, in the middle of the desert, it was so funny because they don't see us in our little shacks waiting for customers to come up from the parking lot. Some of these Germans come out and we just go pee right outside the car because they think nobody's looking and they're in the middle of the desert. So you kind of play it off like, oh, but I just see it all. And then my growing up the way I grew up, like I said, at 17, wishing for this because it was really that bad. So people would just leave me alone. They wouldn't come at me. They wouldn't fuck with me, is how I'm gonna put it. But then people would do that to everybody, and it would be like a chain reaction, and you would know, okay, that was a good person, or that was an evil person, or they have good intentions, or they have bad intentions, or whatever. But God gave me this gift of telling. I'm like a walking lie detector. People come at me, strangers, people I've known, and I know they're lying, and half the time I'm just like, oh, they're lying. They don't want me to know about whatever, and it's none of my business. I like to stay in my lane. I like to stay to myself. I don't want to know about people's crap. I don't want them to get me involved. Thank you very much. Unless it's like work related or family related, like we really have to think about, or we really wanting to know what our neighbors are really doing every Friday night. No, but there's some people that have to be in everybody's business every Friday night. They got to be, what's this person doing? Look, you lose. They got to be nosy rosies. They got to be, and I have family members that are like that, and I've just always been the total opposite. And they think I'm weird, and they think I'm this or that, and they've started some crap because of it. Because they like to fight with words, and I, growing up, I would just say, "Okay, I'm going to punch you in your nose," but it didn't solve anything. And me as an adult, getting older, reading people's lies, I was like, "Okay, is that a big lie? I'll let it go." But when you're a family member, you think, oh, I'm stuck with this person, their blood. So no matter how bad they lie, no matter how bad they come at you, you're still going to go, huh? Until God woke me up. He gave me my abilities, and I couldn't understand them. I had an awakening. I was so confused on what was going on, why I could see people's lies, and me tell them that they're lying and to stop. There's no need for it. For me, for anybody that knows me knows, I'm one of the openest people there are, and I really don't care. It doesn't affect me. You're not affecting my paycheck. You're not affecting my household. You're not affecting my trash man not getting picked up. Whatever, right? You start messing with me a little thing, then I'm still gonna try to help you out. Like, why do you gotta mess with people? Just stop, right? I think it's funny because people don't know how to deal with people. But me growing up having this job, and I mean thousands of people that didn't speak English, or they could pull one over, or it was just always whatever. And then dealing with your friends at work, with on top of school and school work, you had that work and spending the time with them and then spending the money with them, and you got to see. I should have been a psychologist. I should have. And I went to uh, a community college, and I kind of dropped out on that, but I should have just stayed. But I did. I wasn't into the wondering why people were sick. I wanted just to fix people. I'm like, okay, how can we fix people? So I went in a massage. I'm like, okay, well, if people are that stressed out and they're going through all this crap in life, maybe they just need a little TLC and a little talking to and a little rub down, and they feel like a new person, and they come back and you just get to know the person. So my sister did it and her friend did it. But at the time I was 21, I was pregnant, and the smells of the lotion and the whole, I couldn't do it. So I only got some of my licenses, and I kind of just, my sister stayed with it. Good for her, because it does help people. But that was just the type of person I was. So I got other jobs. I got pregnant. Like I said, I was pregnant. So I had my 2 kids, 21 and 23. But never in a million years, by me making that wish or that prayer, that God would say, okay, I'm going to give you some stuff, but it isn't going to be for everybody else. It's just going to be for you. And you're going to have to figure out how you're going to deal with it. You're going to figure out how you're going to use it. You're going to figure out how you're going to have to make money off of it. Because I'm giving you some stuff, but you're going to have to work for it too. So here I am thinking, I have all this knowledge of all this stuff going on around me, and I want to be happy as can be. But here comes my family members, and they're just nonstop cock blocking, lying to court. Nobody will leave me alone. It's been going on for 17 months. They have my brother's, I mentioned him today, is his birthday. His best friend in high school is the sheriff. And then my sister's clientele for her massage were judges and and sheriffs and doctors, and she has a doctor that lives across the street from her, and she likes that lifestyle. She likes those types of people to hang around with and say that she knows in society, and she volunteers at different organizations, whenever she can, and that's good for her. But when you steal from those organizations and you treat the community better than you do your own family, and you lie to the community about your family to make yourself look better, bigger, whatever it may be. I'm not going to get on you. And like, I'm coming on here mainly to say, I'm just trying to move on and try to forgive you guys. I don't know exactly what everything has done to transpire to get to this point, but I'm going to find out because the law is involved. And there's too much paperwork and too many dang cell phones. Like, seriously, people. Like, so for instance, what I had to deal with today, not to change the subject. When people lie, and I say walking lie detectors, and God gives me these little downloads, these little thoughts, and tarot card, and oracles, and my tarot goddesses on YouTube. I love to pieces. If it wasn't for them, I don't know where I'd be. But getting little advices from them, and I sit on it. I don't react on it. I don't act like, oh, they're going to give me the winning lotto tickets, and I'm going to come run up to the sunset. No, this is like every day. They're reading energy that happened to me a year ago, 2 years ago, what's happening now. So it's a good perspective to see why you shouldn't jump the gun and just assume something, because you might find out later on, oh, well, that person wasn't really, he was lied to or she was lied to, and they weren't on the bandwagon. So they had no idea what they were getting themselves into with these people. Like I said, I call them the hoity-toity people because they know how to break laws and get away with it. And it's not what you know, it's who you know. And it's just all this. But to get a divorce, and there's a lie, and the court system do this, and your surroundings, no matter, it's like a bullseye. It's like you think, oh, it's just my family, I could put up with that, or it's just my workplace, I could put up with that, or it's just my neighborhood, or it's just my church, or it's just the doctor's office. It's just. But with me, it's a giant frickin'. I'm the giant bullseye, and God put me in here to piss off everybody, walking around telling them everybody's how you're lying and how you're coming at me, and you shouldn't be. There's no reason for it at all. But they can't seem to get it through their noggins that things are everything that's been hidden is coming out. And like I said, with paperwork and anyways, so I keep everything. And I worked for the Department of Defense and the Department of Navy, and I had an expediter job, and they audit the crap out of you. And even before then, going through stuff with kids, you keep everything. I used to keep so much stuff when I moved. It looked like I was a hoarder with paperwork. I mean, I would keep everything from receipts. I would get off the frickin' boxes and the frickin' the cake boxes to this is before the internet. So mind you, I get all this stuff every time I move. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really need that. I can just look on the internet. It's not going to be a one-time thing where I'm not going to be able to make that cake ever again. It was delicious, right? But things change, and I was like, okay, downsize. And then my kids got older, and they graduated high school, and one of them got married, and one of them got a good job, and moved back with his dad. And everybody seemed to be doing good, and here I'm a proud mama, like, oh, I'm the oldest of my siblings, and then my sister has her two siblings, my niece and my nephew, and then here comes my son, my brother with his two sons, and it was like to me it was heaven, even though everybody was grouchy and everybody wasn't getting along, and it seemed like that was our story of our life, and we were abused growing up with my mom being an alcoholic and drug addict. It wasn't all fun and games. But we got older, and I thought, okay, we're taking care of our mom the best way we can, passing her around because she don't have a house to live in. My brother's got an awesome job. My sister's got an awesome job. I got an awesome job. My kids are out of the house. We're saving money. We're gonna make this happen with retirement. And I started noticing little things with my husband's and my family. But I was just like, okay, whatever. These people are just going a little crazy, and I'm not around them as much because I moved out of state, and the vibes are a little different. I not knowing that they're really all coming after me. I was just thinking, oh, this person's, and I'd see the tension between them guys. I was never involved. But when they started shooting all their energy at me, and they thought I was going to go crazy. They tried to put me in some kind of uh, what do you call it, marriage therapist thing. Even though I'm asking for divorce, knowing that it's my family and my husband and it's my work, and Everybody just needs me to leave me alone, let me be me, and quit telling me as a grown ass adult how I need to feel and what I need to eat. Kid you not, my husband used to proportion my food for me. We'd make whatever, and like a little kid, he would make my plate and say, "Here you go." And I didn't realize that little by little, little by little, little by with all this little, oh, I'll go do this and I'll go. I'm thinking my husband is just being okay. That's the way he wants to be. Okay, well, I'll go with him. Even though I just thought it was odd and sometimes it irritated the crap out of me. It did, but I just let it go because, like I said, I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. I do not want to cause drama where there's no drama needing to be freaking taking place. But once there is drama, people, you guys realize I'm not going to back down. I might not sleep good. I might not eat good. I might smoke my cannabis. I might not read my Bible as much as I should. I might be cussing out, whatever. But I've never done anything to affect you guys, for you guys to come at me and to lie, the shit and the pile of shit that you guys created. Oh, yeah. So I was going to start off reading all my little, I was going to tell you guys how I come across numerology for me. I only read the tarot cards for myself, never read it for anybody else, because it's so chaotic, right? Energy that other tarot card readers read it out there, and there's a lot of them. So I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get out of this energy with me if they can't get out of this energy? I need to wait until I move on and I'm happy and living my life, and their energy will change, and then maybe it'll calm down enough for me to sit down and figure out what's going on, because it's just negative shenanigans. I could give you thousands upon thousands, so many thousands of hours of proof. So my husband says there's no proof. Well, I'm sorry, dear, but I've been giving you proof that my gifts are legit. I've given them to everybody that I could think of. But you still keep blocking me with all these dang phones. So I have no choice but to go on YouTube and do a live screening. So when the courts say that there's no this or that, and I got it in an email, just let me know. And I'll start looking at the phones and start charging them, or the tablet I have. I have 7 freaking phones, people. Phone hackers, my family, trying to stop me from the money and what I've earned, what I've contributed. So as a joke, my husband put in there that he had to borrow money for my teeth to get my dental work done, and that he is still in the hole for $15,000, and I got him done, 3-4 years ago, whenever it's been. And I thought, well, that's the strangest thing. Now here I'm in court and I'm not being represented. Wouldn't you know it? And everybody that knows me at work, I saved 7 flipping years for these teeth. I did. And I have 10 years worth of freaking bank statements to prove it. And when that money's gone and he has to take out a loan, and I'm asking him, why is this loan being taken out? There's $72,000 missing that I saved. I saved, not my freaking husband's. You want to look at my LESs, people? Do you want to look at my personal actions? Do you want to know how many fucking bonuses I got because I do my job and I just shut up and go home and keep to myself? And that's what everybody should do. And not getting anybody's freaking link and start lying and being thieves and stealing and demolishing families and trying to get rid of. They're trying to get to me and my soul, but it ain't gonna happen. If anything, they just made me stronger. Way freaking more stronger. Like I said, I could not figure out why God, but I was like, why am I seeing this stuff at 39 years old? Right? Or 49, I'm sorry. But I know stuff before, but it was a puzzle piece. And I was just like, okay, well, this is this. Not realizing that God gave me my wish, but he just changed it up. He made it a little bit better. Because he made it better, because my husband came at me and says, there's no such thing as God. So you're allowed to torment me, steal from me, abuse me. You're allowed to turn my whole world upside down and me be innocent and do nothing wrong more. And you expect God's not going to say something when here I am praying to God saying, please, I don't understand why I made an oath with you and I made an oath with my husband and why he's got to be so evil. This is not what I signed up for. Or with my family. And God's like, well, you got to get rid of everybody. You got to be Job. And I'm like, well, that's scary. But then I thought back, I'm like, wait a minute, that's another dream come true. If everybody in your alley, you got 13, 15, 20 people coming at you nonstop because they're all huddled together, more the merrier because they can't take one on one. It's two, three, guaranteed. They try one and they go back with a little tail and do circles, people. And see, that's what funny. My family didn't realize when I went to work to keep the peace, there was 88 people, 100 people. They all have their own little personalities, their own little quirks, their own little way of whatever, and you had to get along with all of them. So me dealing with you guys, it just made me a freaking boss bitch at work. I'm like, I can deal with 13 to 20 people at once that are freaking trying to kill me, like literally unalive me. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but it's the truth. And I have documentations again on my phone, 911 calls, proof for the doctors, insurance. Oh, I keep everything. I even keep little business cards from Z from the hospital. We keep it all. It doesn't matter if it comes from the insurance company or the hospital or the doctor, admin. So when the courts here say that they can't mail me my stuff, and again, I went on the court, the .gov website, and yesterday they got mail returned again, and I was like, that is the funniest crap that they cannot seem to get their stuff together. I better go in there and do this in person. I don't mind getting a taxi. I don't mind getting a taxi ride because I'm going to be able to shut them the heck up when they say, well, that's not what we have. And that's what I've been hearing. And I keep on saying, you guys, even when you guys send it to the old one, it would still get forwarded to the new one. That stopped. Check this out. Then, where's the paperwork? Same thing. So I got 2 forwarded for the divorce. The attorney knew how to get a hold of me. They're saying all this, right? But you go on the website and it's like return mail, da 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 da. And I look, the one attorney's got wrong zip. They got the old address, but yet to go to show up for my divorce hearing, they got it right. I called them, they got it right. So I said, okay, I went to the final hearing. We're all said and done with. I don't like to be, holding grudges. I was like, okay, hopefully these people learn how to do their dang job. Because I'm sure you're just mailing off some stuff and making copies. And if you knew what I had to do for the government, you dot your I's and cross your T's. Sometimes you have to get permission to do that. Even though your job is just to do that. Every 2 years, you got a new CO. And he's got to learn the ropes, and he wants to do it his way. So even though you've been doing it for 8.5 years, you don't know who the new work for the government's a trip. And you guys are county. But I had a little bit of respect. So when I have to make reports on my phone, my husband tap on my phone, all these phones, and I have to go, and I keep all the little business cards from the state and from the county, and then the other state that I have to make a play with because Verizon and Apple can't keep their stuff together, but it's like RICO laws. My husband's been breaking laws all across the United States. But even the Department of Motor Vehicles, they know how to get a hold of me through the state. And this has been going on since April of 2024. And I'm like, why do they say I'm holding me and they can't mail me? So they start counting how many times. And like I said, I was like, oh my gosh, even my ex-husband wrote me one and it came, but he didn't mail it like that. He decided he's going to send his stuff, and I got the package for it, FedEx. He has the audacity to say later on, you can't get a hold of me. Well, you can't mail it there if there's no mail being delivered there. Just like the email addresses. You guys crack me when I say I keep everything. And the courts are telling me that the department, you have to update this. You have 30 days, if you're moving into state. And believe me, people, I like to keep my credit score up, and I like to be have clean whistles going on around me. So, government knows how to get a hold of me. April 20th, 2024. Email, whatever. Not only that, I have an app on my phone. So when you guys don't send it and it's not showing up on my app, and I call, and you're like, well, I get it. And then the next time I don't. So here's the final hearing. And I look, I even went down and got all the copies of all the paperwork I did not receive from the attorney or from the courts at all. If you look, it goes with all this information. I was like, wow, it makes me feel kind of important. Like I went shopping and I spent all kinds of money somewhere, but it's all lies. Dude, the courts, of course. Like I said, I got emails from Frida, and then there's Jody, and then there's Valerie. So there's all the stuff, and they're like, oh. I'm like, well, then there's the deposition, and there's all these times that things are incorrect, and they say to fix them, and I give them the information to fix, please, because I'm tired of you guys lying on me on the website, NewMexicoCourts.gov, case lookup. I have to go get my driver's license and my passport. By law, a female has to after divorce. Husband gets divorced, he's just whatever. And you guys are dinking around. This happened October 31st. And now we're in freaking March. And they're still like, that's not what we have. When I called down to Farmington, they want me to, you know what I should have done? Because this is what I was advised to do. I called what they have on the website, and they sent me to Farmington, which is fine. Poor lady, I had said all this stuff to her. She's like, sorry, you need Gallup. I'll transfer you. I'm like, okay. She's like, you should talk to their supervisor. So I started looking at people, but I want to go in their cool, calm, and collective. I want to know what was supposed to be mailed to me that got returned. Never did find out because I forgot to ask. I just wanted them to update. And it was like a test. Are you going to really mail me that crap? Or am I going to have to make another taxi trip to see what it is? If there's anything, maybe it's just whatever I got freaking certified. So I could change my driver's license. And that's all it is. I want to walk away and be able to be me without my husband still hacking my phone. And you all think I'm stupid. Oh, no. People turn in their phones and they get credit. Not this girl. You want some, which they already have it. I already know they do, but it's a joke. I kept all the tablets, kept all the evidence. No, you're not trading in that phone. Somebody might need that as evidence because I'm not crazy. And you go through all these damn phones and it's all these different things with Mark and my mom and my sister and my daughter. And it's patterns over promises. So they're like, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. I'm like, well, that's funny. Because I can't make up this shit. My energy waves are out there for the tarot card readings, but I can't make devices come up with fake emails and send them to my attorney and have my attorney say, I need for you to take your money back. Your sister's scaring me, whatever. I'm like, oh, he can't handle me either. At one point in time. But it just cracks me up. I keep everything, people. I keep emails. I keep text messages. And when that phone's had enough, and there's fake Amazon accounts, and there's fake this, and there's fake that, and I'm like, oh, it's going fooey again. And I'm getting ads. This is what's funny. This is how I know. I was like, oh, it's doing it again. But I'm going to keep my phone until my birthday, and I'm going to change my phone number and never call my family again. Because I don't know how they're tripping up to even do this. So I know they're getting help. But the reason I said I know the feds they might not even need this and shit. I might be like $800 richer. That'd be nice to know. Including my tablet. Oh yeah, my other Samsung Galaxy and the other tablet. I spent $6,000, people, trying to figure out what the heck, how is my husband, my sister, and my mom doing this? I know why they're doing it. I just want them to stop. And see all these, like I said with the business curse, all these incident reports. Everybody says, oh, whatever. No, there's another one. Oh, that's attorneys. That's my husband's old jobs, plural, too. Keep everything, people. Oh, yeah, no, that was it. Then there was San Bernardino County as well. Deputy Gonzalez, 6:30 a.m. our time. It was either 8:05 or 8:06 on the 24th. And I have nobody's ever called me. Nobody's ever corresponded with me. So I'm on the government watch list for some strange reason. I'm like, okay, my job wasn't that freaking important, that thing. And I quit it years ago. So I don't know why they would put me on the list after the fact. So it has nothing to do with my job. I know I didn't do nothing wrong or being accused of that media. I was like, oh, well, let me find out. Let me call the FBI in Albuquerque. They've never called. They've never corresponded. They've never sent a mail, anything in the mail. It's like I don't exist. Then I go and correspond with the same thing with my TSP account. They send me whatever. It's under investigation. They're supposed to notify me. No emails, no phone calls. And I'm like, this is national security. If I can't handle my business and do what I need to do as a US citizen, should I bring out my fucking passport, people? Because I'm not scared. Eventually, I'm going to change. See, I'm changing my name. So you can see whatever's on there, but I'm going back to whatever. And and I'm not worried about it. Not worried about it at all. I'm beyond blessed. But I could, like I said, with this gift and this wish, I wanted everybody to have it. And God, I was like, oh no, you can't do that with people. And He showed me why. He showed me my family. He showed me the true colors of what I've grew up with, that was behind the scenes, that I made excuse for because they're my blood and I would never do anything to harm them. So I think in a million zillion years they never want to do anything to harm me or my kids. But when your sister steals your money and your daughter needs insulin and you got to beg, steal, and borrow to get said medication, a single mom of two, owning her house, having a truck, I did my shit. I did what I was supposed to. Went to jury duty when I need. Had my dogs. Everybody can test. I do. I've never been arrested. Thank you, Lord. Never been arrested. Even though I should have a couple times, but no, never worked out that way. But He wants me to talk about my story because, like I said, these tarot card readers, how do they know what's going on with my mom, my sister, my brother, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, my daughter, my son, my ex? You know what I mean? Ex bosses, and not only the ex bosses, they're making vehicles of the car. They're old. I mean, their kids. I mean, it spider webs out people. So when you really want to get in depth, like I said, I spent thousands of hours. But you got to go. Okay, well, no. That's. But then I weeded out like 5 top contenders with the tarot. Oh yeah, they're like 90%, 99% legit. The government should hire them or me. I don't know how this works. I really don't know how the communication with us works because it's so. I wish I could explain to people when they say, "Oh, you're gonna have this," happen to you, and it happens all the time. I'm like, "Yes, it does," and I'm like, "I wonder." So it's not just me. Like if I were to say no lie, like it's just this is what I thought of butthead. So say I would have said, "Oh, you ding butthead." Somebody on thing says butthead, and I'm like, "Oh, well, why did they say butthead? Oh, they're talking about Beavis and Butthead. Oh, well, I was but it happens to me where I'm at home and it's on the YouTube, at home on my phone, at home in the Walmart. I'm like, oh, and I feel like I'm gonna strike up conversations like, why did you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you say oyster crackers right now? When I'm thinking about it and I'm 2 hours away from it, but that's on my list. I just read it and I said, oh yeah, don't let me forget oyster crackers. And the lady said, yeah, and then we went to Scissor and they still sell those, they still have the oyster crackers. I literally was like, well, that's what I'm getting. I'm making me my clam chowder soup, but I'm not going to Scissor to do it. But it makes me in a good mood. I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ancestors. It's like a special gift. But I don't know how to make it when I know that people are lying and I know what they're lying about. I don't want to be starting crap. They've already tried to kill me. They tried to poison me. They've done so much stuff to me. They've done so much stuff. And that's why people are like, you're tough. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I am. When God sat my ass down for a good year. And believe me, I've gone through all kinds of past traumatic experiences and whatever, and it always goes back to, like I said, the target with me and my family. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not. It's a family curse, like they said. But I was like, oh, I never looked at it like that, and I don't look at this lingo like they do. I wake up and I'm like, okay, God, thank you for let me wake up today. Thank you for my cat being awake. She's 17 years old. Thank you, Lord. There's snow, and then it melted for me, so I can go to the courthouse and I don't worry about the snow on the ground. Thank you, Lord, that I got to have leftovers. Oh my gosh, and they were better than the day before. Thank you, Lord, that a new taxi driver, and she's such a sweetheart, and she's actually like talks to you. And I was just, I think of like the darkest things, and I'm like, yeah, but when you have nothing and you have nothing and you have nothing, the littlest thing will brighten your day. So if you've been eating toast and buttered toast, and all of a sudden you get some sugar and cinnamon, all that bad boy at the end of the week, you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could have this today. And that's how my life is. I'm like, oh, it's like this. But then every once in a while, I get that cinnamon and sugar. And I'm like, ooh, me like you like this. I can get used to that. And God wants us all to live like that, to be respectful, to live within our means, not treat people like crap, not your own dang family members, your own coworkers, service, people you go to church with or whatever, AA meetings, I don't know, whatever people's got going on out there. If people are just a little bit more respectful, oh my gosh, when it comes to just being patient and opening doors, and it's like we all need to go back to being 3, 4, and 5 years old, learn our manners. So you get what you get, you don't throw a fit. All of us. I don't care if you make fucking $5 million a year, dude. I don't care if you make 5 fucking cents a year. Because this guy that's making 5 cents maybe will, oh yeah, got it going on than you do. And yet you're the one, well, I got this. Yeah, and at the end of the world, at the end of these times, and God sees everything, I'll be like, yeah, well, I'm sorry I gave that guy a cigarette. You want him to quit? And I couldn't quit, Lord. Da, 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 da. None of those are good. It's this dickhead that makes $5 million and pisses on people for a living. You can't buy your way to heaven. You can't fake your way to heaven either. You can't be fake as can be. God sees it. So if you want to be fake to your husband, you want to be fake to your daughter, you want to be fake, 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 fake. God's gonna say, okay, one day I'm gonna make you so dang crazy you're not gonna remember all your dang lies. But I joke, I know that God's got a sense of humor because before I didn't want to read the Bible. Now that I want to read the Bible, I need freaking classes, so I can't read it. Well, unless I find my classes. So I get 2 cheap peas at Walmart, I break one. So I'm like, God's got a sense of humor. I still got that one though. And it's the new pair that I didn't, it wasn't the old pair I broke. They were just getting stretched out because I'm always wearing on my head, And the thingies needed to be not as strong. But God does have a sense of humor. So for me to make that wish at 17 and me go through all my crap, oh my gosh, and me question stuff, but God just knew, okay, well, she's talking to me though. She might be cursing at me because her life is not doing good at all. But when she loses everything, I want to see where that lady light as a feather. You know what I mean? When you wait. And God sent me on here. He's like, you did the best job you could. You go, girl. And not only that, I'm going to show you some stuff that you've never seen before and nobody else has seen before. And you're going to shut Mark's mouth up because he wants scientific proof. Scientific proof. Scientific proof. Okay, girl, we'll see what you got. And I'm like, I don't know how to explain this stuff, people. So it's deep. It's like when you say a prayer and you're like, oh, well, I hope God's listening. With me, I already know he is. So I talk to God all day long. I talk to Jesus. I am so gracious and thankful. All of us, something can happen. We could all lose our electricity and all of us be going through some crap. And I already know I can't trust them. And my neighbors are going to pack up and what the fuck? I'll leave all my food for them. Shit. They don't even need to steal it. That's how I work. I'll be getting up in the middle of the night, packing my shit before they're even thinking about waking up. And they're going to be knocking, and nobody's going to be home. See, when I know that stuff's going to go down, I'm like, oh, I don't like this. And it's one of those vibes. I'm like, gotta get me out of here. And I want my cat out of here. And I want my doggy out of here. Or is it just a temporary? Are we going for a little drive? Is there energy because they're hiring, people to come harass you, and you don't know how to deal with them without like going off and wanting to beat their asses too? And that's not cool. I'm not like that. I don't want to be like that. I used to be like that with my sister or whoever came at my family. Very defensive. I go for the underdog. Always, always, always. So I don't know. Stuff comes out of me. But when I'm the underdog, and I'm like, I don't know how to defend myself. That's what God wanted me to see. Why can't you defend yourself? You can defend every mother there is out here in the world. If you know right from wrong, and you will, girl, you are brave, you will jump up there and you'll be the first one to say something. But when it comes to you, you sit there and say, well, if I just give it a little bit more time or a little, he's like, how many more months of this me showing you stuff and you not doing nothing about it? Are you going to waste? Or are you going to let it go? And that's what scares me. I'm like, I don't know how to. I know stuff, and I just don't know to start writing or just telling you guys. But my family, they'll lie to everybody. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna start going with your friends. You don't want to believe me, and you want to block my phone, then I guess my energy or whatever's going around my sister or whatever drama, whatever they're going through is gonna get, and I'll know, and I'll shoot her right back at them. If you guys want to hang out with losers and liars, and you guys have it going on, working at banks and the Marine base, different business owners, holding good jobs, should not be thinking around with that. You guys are not low lives. Like, I feel like your mother right now. I'm like, oh my God. When they say disappointment, I used to make, like, he said something, I would always make excuses. I'm like, oh, whatever. Now I go back, I'm like, if I had only known that all those years I could be shutting these people up because I should have, I feel guilty. Like, it's my fault that they got so bad because I didn't stop it. And God's like, no, 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 girl. No, your job is not to fight them. No. But I feel like that's the defense mechanism. Like, well, you're not doing nothing, God. And they're still coming at me. And I still have to look over my shoulder because I don't know if I'm going to piss some cop off because that's what was going on in my old town. And they're following me around, dude, calling, adult services on my ass. And the cops showing up at my house and they're following me around. And I'm not doing anything. Like, not only that, my insurance is prepaid like 8 months in advance, people, and my registration 2 years in mail. So there's not even like, oh, we looked at the wrong month and we thought, it said this, so it's wrong year. My bad. No, there's no. If I needed whatever, I use my hazards, I use my blinkers. Safety first. And it's not even that. Sometimes I don't even know they're freaking behind me and there's like, whoa, where'd you come from? How long have you been there? But then I think about it, I take a deep breath, and I'm like, oh, he must have been wherever because I passed this. Like, guys, my memory when it comes to scary, like 9/11, I remember stuff. And how many years, 24 years ago, whatever it's been. Sorry. But it's like one of those moments, something where I'm getting accused in the court, or I'm getting accused by a police officer, or I'm getting accused by my mother, and she's trying to attack me with hot tea in her damn hand, and she's going to burn me. And she's almost 7 years old, and she's still acting like I'm 5, and I'm going to be terrified of her. No, I will grab your arm, and I will tell you to stop. But she does that with my she's just a horrible, horrible, horrible person. I just need to walk away. And I was just like, oh, you should have thought of that when I was 6 or 10 or 12 or 20 or 30 or 40. But you just keep on. And I didn't realize how bad it was until, like I said, God gave me my little special gift. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Because it made more sense. Like, I already knew stuff. And now I go to people, oh, whatever. And they'd be, oh, well, they're on the other person's side. And I'm like, though that was a hint to them, they still kept on. I'm like, I didn't even know it was a hint. That's what's so funny. I just say stuff, and I always say, I don't know why I said that, but obviously. This is before I knew all about all this. I was scared. If you say Ouija board, people know. And I find out my family's doing it. I'm like, and you want to come at me because I read positivity, angel numbers, and yeah, it's to get my butt going, knowing that this world is just in shambles and there's nothing we could really do about it because it's so corrupted. But yet I have my little paradise in my house with my refrigerator that's not an ice maker. What I mean, I can have to be happy. Is whatever that happens, I gotta whatever to back me up. Back people. So I think outside of the box, saying, okay, well, if this comes down to this, like I said, I can leave my house and still be maintained with my and still leave everything for the neighbors if I can have. They can keep it. I don't need it no more. If they need it that bad, and this is what I say to people: if you need it that bad, or you think you need it that bad, because people are on drugs, people, and they don't think right, and they don't think their connectors aren't connecting, and they have their different way of thinking, and I get that. But to say that somebody's not on drugs and they're just blaming God and telling you God is your problem and God is not helping you and wanting you to commit suicide and all this funny other funky stuff, that's what God's like, wake up here. You can't be nice about this. This is your life. And see, up until then, I didn't care. So I think God did me because I really don't care if I was alive or dead. I've been through so much horrible crap. I'm like, well, what else is there? I've never been to jail. Maybe he wants me to go to jail and get that experience. So if I do write my book, I'm going to be a jail bitch to somebody. I don't know. I'm like, what is God doing to me? What is he doing? He's got a sense of humor, but that's not funny anymore. That is not funny when it comes to me going to jail. But then I started asking the question, why, Lord, why would you show me this? Why would you do, you just wanted me to get my big girl panties on and say, okay, this is what you got to do. You got to be the whistleblower. You got to be the tattletale. You got to tell on your own damn family what they're doing wrong and how they're coming at you. And the more you tell on them, the more you're going to find out how much bigger this is. So all you have to do, if you don't want to know, don't say nothing. But the more I say something, the more I'll know. And it's kind of addicting after you're like, well, fuck, I just want to write a book because if I write this book, even if nobody else reads it, I wonder what God's going to tell me if I let it all out. And then just give you guys little snips and bits and the little picture thing. Like I said, you put a little clicker. Which ones did I have? Wonder Woman. I don't know. I can't remember. E.T. Those things were neat. But just imagine all of our little brains are like that, and God just gives us little, every once in a while, and you just see and sometimes you only see one or two pictures, and then they're gone, and sometimes you see the whole thing, and you're really damn confused. You're like, well, that doesn't make any sense to my life at all, and I couldn't imagine it ever fitting into my life, but come to find out, it's your family's life, it's your sister-in-law, yeah, or this or that with the family. So it's a trip. But like I said, the more I tell, the more God gives me. And I'm like, okay, whenever I get a jab, I got it now. I am living proof of a loving God. God is living. So it's just nonstop. It's just like, get up, you do your thing. As long as you're not screwing people over and you're honest, you shouldn't have to deal with people that are so obviously corrupt and brutal. These people are brutal, brutal. And the court system let them, and the attorneys let him. So when I say that the attorney is crooked, so for him to say that, I don't know, because he's going to get questioned later on. I almost want to make him a bet, but every time I think of a bet, I think a steak dinner in Dubai. But honest to goodness, I don't know if they even eat steak in Dubai, so that I don't want to be offensive. So I'm like, oh, do they even have that there? Because that's something I would want. You're going to fly all the way to somewhere. Give me something that I've never had before and I'll never have again. Bet that. $16,000 plane ticket plus a guest, plus the meal, whatever it is to get your butt back home. That when I warned you back in February, I did all whatever. It wasn't. I wanted my husband to be on the straight and narrow, and I thought maybe he'd just be a little. Hey, dude, maybe this isn't a good idea. And I'd get my alimony, and everybody run up to the sunset. He could go be with whoever had been with. Don't make no difference to me. I really don't care. I want you to be happy, so you don't have to be all with me. Like I said, I'm so open with people, and I get that people are not made for everybody, and we're not made to be with everybody and that sucks in a weird way, but at the same time, it's like God's protection. Rejection is God's protection. And I really thought I was going to be with my husband and be like this, whatever, arguing with him about spirituality and ghosts and spirits and deja vu and stuff that I was really into. So he held me back. I was like, okay, well, I guess, because he grew up Catholic and his mom's like this, and because his sister slash brother's like this, and his other brother's like this, and my mom's, and I always worried about whatever, and I was like, oh, well, that's nobody wants to hear about it, so I'll just give it to myself. If I wanted to read as far as it ever got people, this is why God laughs. I laugh at God. I never got into all this. It was always just reading what's my horoscope for the day or the week or the month. That's as far as I ever got. And it used to be dead. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. That's all it was. Like I said, over the years, it was me one-on-one with people, me reading something. How come that doesn't make sense? If it doesn't make sense, come on, people. And it's a funny story. Like my grandma Doobie, I love her to pieces. She was she's a foster mom. I call it my foster grandma, but she was actually my grandma. But she had foster kids and she adopted all by herself. Love her to pieces. But whenever something would happen, people would say, I don't know. And she lined us all up one time, and Jesus. And I never heard her do this or see her do this before, so I was almost laughing at her face, but it scared me at the same time too. She says, all right, well, when I find this, I don't know. She's like going off. He's been in my house, he's eating my food, and I don't know his follow do never turned in your homework, and I don't know his forgot to do chores, and she's going to each one of us. Like it's one person. And we're all like hiding this I don't know person. It was the funniest shit, but at the same time, I'm like, you better confess to whoever's doing whatever, but when I got older, I was like, I love this, but I don't. Because these are grown ass people working at the court system. I don't know. And they do. And I'm like, okay, grandma's coming along, and it isn't me, it's daddy upstairs. And he's gonna line all you guys up. And he's making me be the whistleblower. And I'm like, wow. It just gets thicker and thicker like a spider web, like I said. And here I was so naive. I didn't see nothing because I was growing up. You keep your mouth shut. My mom with her, you keep your mouth shut. And there's good reason for that. And I'm not going to say why, but there's good reason why you just keep your mouth. I mean, everybody knows. I'm like, stitches for stitches. But it's more in depth when you're dealing with your own freaking family members. And your stepdads that like to whip you with razor straps. Mr. Tom Piper. We're going to get with him one day. It's another couple people that my mom thought that they would be better off to handle me with whatever they were thinking and doing because they're all fucked up on coke than her actually be a parent and step up to the plate and do something about it. So, but like I said, I forgive people. I'm like, oh, she can't be a perfect mom. I used to make excuses for her, and if I had done what I was supposed to do on my end and see something, then you wouldn't have put up with it. Then that's on you too for not saying anything. And here I go, 50 freaking years old, saying, oh, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to. No, fuck all that. No. You want 2 or 3 cricket attorneys? And let me tell you why. Mr. Joe, how I got you, Joseph. One conversation. Never mind anything else. I knew something was up with you, and that's what my gift is with people. For you to say you're probably going to get back with your husband after you want to talk about the Disturbed security concerts or whatever you want to, the concerts used to be security at Disturbed, and you show me your lanyard, you show me all the stuff. And after me trying to explain to you why I drove all the way outside of the city limits, a different county to come see you and give you more money is because of how serious it was. And you tell me, I bet you get back with your husband. Ding, 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 ding. And I don't forget shit because it gave me chills. And I literally drove 40 minutes, whatever it was, back to my house. And my husband, who is supposed to be my friend, and we're having a friendly divorce, said, how'd it go? And I said, good. But the strangest thing is, my husband said, my attorney said, as we're leaving, that I'll probably get back with you. And I laughed. And he made this face. And it says to me, did my husband call the attorney on the way over to him to block me? Because that's what my husband did. He's psycho. There's nothing my husband would not do, people. You don't understand how he thinks when he's smart, that he will do anything to outplay, outsmart, out-cheat. And it's not fair. It's not right, but that's how he thinks survival is. And I'm like, oh, if that's how you think, that's why we're divorced. If you want to, he just, yeah. Picking on the weak. But then God comes back and says, oh, you don't believe in me, and you want to do this, and you want to do that, and you want to get a legal life insurance policy, and you want to hack 7 freaking phones and stop illegally, and you want to do this, and you want to steal money, and you want to do this, and you want to, oh, yeah. So I'm just sitting back, waiting for it to all transpire. You guys think I'm crazy. But like I said, the more I tattletale, the more information I get. And it's not even confirmation. I'm already getting the dang confirmations, people. It's way, way beyond the confirmations. Oh, no. Mm-mm. That's why it's so serious. That's why I was like, okay, well, I better get my butt on here and start saying something to somebody before I start writing my book with this. I don't know. When I'm the only one that knows. It's going to be those I Spy magazines. Shannon's book is going to be what? And you're going to be like, I know who that was. That was whoever. And I'm not going to say no names. But everybody that knows me and everybody, when it's all open and they all get busted, it'll be a funny thing. They'll be like, oh, yeah. Who did they say that was during the trial? What were the initials again? And I'll be like, where's my little box by the scramble letters? I'll tell you before they even sit down to think about it. And I bet I'm 90% right. And how many jurors are there? And they all have to come up with one decision. And I can tell you who's going to be the little sticker in the thing. People are like, what? You can do? Oh, yeah. It's all in body language. I read people that read people. And I think that's funny. Because they're only doing a certain way. I'm like, well, if you did it like this, and you do a little bit like this, yeah, you get a little bit different perspective, and it makes it a little bit more fun. It's not a bummer so much. But see, that's what my sister likes to do. She likes to start lives with these people, and then
tell them a different one, and then she keeps them all. My mom and her, they like keep everybody separated. They never find out who started what, but yet I'm always the bad guy, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I don't know what I did again. Everybody's mad at me, but hey, whatever. Still rocking it, people. Still alive. Still worshiping Jesus. Thank you. Amen. Y'all think I'm going to be like heartbroken? I'm like, why would I be heartbroken? Honestly, I have a bed, I have food, I have air, I still live in America, right? And I know what that means. It's more than just a feeling. So yeah, my husband likes to play Jeopardy and he gets whatever. And I was like, oh, well, I guess you're just book smart. Oh, maybe I just thought I was just street smart. And you are just book smart. And we're just two opposites, but we could do this. And how many years into our marriage, I'm like, what the heck? This is not what I signed up for. And I really thought, okay, that's my karma. God's putting me with somebody that I'm going to be stuck with the rest of my life. And I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, please don't let me be tormented too bad, please. And it got worse and worse and worse. And I kept praying, God, what the heck's going on? And he's like, no. You got to make sure that you are paying attention to your surroundings and not being a stupid blob. Trying to help everybody. You can't help everybody because they're going to come bite you in the butt. They're going to think you're weak. They're going to think that you have, but you show up, oh, I have morals. No, I don't want to be your friend. No, you want to steal my identity, Missy. I never lived at by rental, like under that name. So there's just, and I forgave you. I was like, okay, well, you want to rack up a freaking $500? And I'm stuck with it. What are friends for? And I come back how many years later? How many years later? And they're like, why are you bringing up? I'm like, well, because she's just the one, she's also getting lined up too. So they could all see how it was one giant display from God. And you guys are the main characters. I thought I was like, oh my gosh, don't put me up there. Mm-mm. God wants his glory. Amen. He wants a large audience. Amen. No. With all these jokers being awful and evil, trying to kill people for money and getting all these doctors and attorneys and judges and county clerks and parents and siblings and friends and co-workers. Like I said, people, the list goes on. And I remember everything. So like, oh, that's why they made that fence. That face. Excuse me. I had to get away from them to find out what the heck was really going on because they would have just kept lying to me. And I would have just kept believing them because I'm trying to keep everybody happy. Keep everybody fed, keep everybody's, and not just me, but I mean, worldwide, we are so spoiled. We are beyond spoiled people. We are beyond spoiled. I'm beyond blessed. That's what I mean. I can lose everything and I still feel that way because that's how I feel. And it's only going to be temporarily. So if it's a 17-month long divorce, thank God it's not pregnancy. Whoop whoop, right? No, and I got pregnant with Mark twice, and I had miscarriages. But I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was like, oh my God, I blame myself. I did this. I was like, no, baby, you did not want to have a baby with that boy. And besides, he was doing stuff to you, so you couldn't have the baby anyways. So why would you blame yourself? And then you would have been stuck with him, and you don't want to be stuck with a monster. If I give you the key to unlock yourself, are you gonna freaking not do it because of a baby? And he knows that I would. So he knows all. That's why Mark says you're not like heartbroken. I'm like, yeah, I was. I got over it though, and I realized there was a wider, broader story. They say God's rejection is our protection. Even with that, people, it's so sad to say. Who's to say that I don't give some man and get pregnant now? And everything's peachy keen, just the way it's supposed to be. And here I'm blaming myself, blaming him, blaming this, blaming work, too much stress, too little this, my age. Oh, no. No. And they say anything is possible. That's why I crack up when I got to read you one of these. Because when I say spot on, when I say I can't explain stuff, I'm not going to explain stuff. The impossible made possible. So I get little, and I'll shuffle my deck, and I'll pull from the bottom. I do whatever I say to people. And I don't read for people. I just do it mainly the oracle. Those are the ones I do for me with all the hoopla. But God wanted me to make the impossible possible. And I kept on saying, I can't do this, and I can't do this, and I can't do this, and I'm this. And he's like, put me in the corner. I was like, fine, you want to be a sissy lala, and you want to feel sorry for yourself, and you don't want to get anything done, and you want to drive yourself insane because you want to be stuck on their crap that they put on you, that they're projecting on you, that has nothing to do with you. Like you're free from them. And I just could not get it through my head. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. I still say, well, I don't have my driver's license changed. It's little things that bug me now. And I'm like, oh no. Like they don't understand how fucking free I am. Like when they say manifestations people, they don't know where my brain was before the divorce, trying to get through the divorce. You know what I mean? I finally get to them, I'm like, oh, well, then we got already here. Well, let me just keep going because it's just nonstop. Until I get old and grumpy, don't think of any more good ideas, please. I'll just go to my tarot, find the cutest little good tarot deck or whatever, and Bible verses, you name it. There's one that says, excuse my French. They have cuss words in it, and it just cracks me up. Yes. And people are like, well, you don't talk to anybody. People, I've gone weeks without talking to a single soul or leaving my house. And I'm not like that. I used to have to get up every day, go deal with all these people, go deal with all their crap. And I prayed like, God, this phone, these people. And it's not about the salary. It was you do for people and then they expect it. And then before you know it, you're doing for everybody and they expect it. And before you know it, you're not getting paid. And then you're getting chump chased and then you're getting lied to. And before you know, you're like, well, how did this happen? Because I never did nothing to nobody. They're like, no, you opened the door for them to do that to you because you never said no to them. So they want to see, and each one of them are doing it, see how far they can push. How far can we make this go? Well, I bet we could do this. And it became like a betting game, these people. That my life with their hands, my family with their hands, my careers with their hands. And it goes on, and they think I'm stupid. I was like, oh my gosh, I see this, and you wonder why I keep everything, or why I question people. People are like, well, why did you say that? I'm like, I don't know. And I find out 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, well, Miss Linda Likes Tarot just said some shit that ding, 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 ding in my head that I don't even know about. I was like, oh crap, because I'm not in California, people around these people. I'm 550 miles away. Mm-hmm. But they know everything I'm doing, and I know everything they're doing, and nothing. And things are progressing. It's just funny that they think I'm just stuck out here, not working on my self forgiveness or working on their forgiveness. And it's a mental thing that we all have. We just got to get over that hump. And when I say I have all this and that, and it's beyond that. It's like I can't even put it into words. I don't know if I use both sides of my brain. I don't know if I use one side of my brain. And it's exhausting. I have to take naps. And it's not because of my age, it's because Holy Spirit, Holy Angels, Spirit Guide, I freaking ass, and everybody's just like, oh, well, you got this. And then there's Megan on the Draconic Priestess, and there's Astrea 5D, and they're talking about this, and they're doing this, and there's just like, it's like nonstop. How do all these tarot card readers know what's going on with my sister and how big of a bitch she really is? Sees it, and all these people are really that naive and what's going on around them. And I used to worry for people, and I'm like, they're big people. They probably chose the other side. They probably chose to look the other way. They probably chose to not say anything like I used to. They probably chose this. But when you start, there's money trails and there's people getting paid for doing this stuff, and they're getting caught. I was like, oh, well, you guys aren't very smart then, huh? Mr. Jeopardy. Mr. Gambler. I can laugh about it now. I can. That's why I said I forgive you guys. I know. We all have our demons. We all do stupid stuff. But when you don't ask for forgiveness and you don't try to better yourself or to be better around other people, Be fucking grumpy all by yourself. If you want to sit in your house and you want to talk shit to yourself all day long and live like that, that's hard. I wouldn't do it. But if you want to do it, but you're nice to everybody else, but it doesn't. It leaks out. It spreads out. All of a sudden, everything. Poor guy at the grocery store. It is his fault they don't have cilantro for you to buy with your pico de gallo, dude. Why are you gonna go off on him? And I just look at it as like, oh, well, that's then it's just that's another life lesson, or this is this. And people don't want to look at it like that. They want it now. They want this. And I'm the same way. I want answers now, but I was like, okay, well, they're not meant for me for now because God's doing his thing. Archangel Michael's protecting me. What else can I freaking ask for? Yeah. And you think, oh, well, she's just batshit crazy. And I'll take that. I'll own that. If it equals what's really going on, that's the term and that's the terminology. Whatever you guys want, you can label me a witch. You could label me a shaman the shaman. You could do whatever you think you need to do, and I'm just going to say I'm a child of God, and I'm just trying to get fucking here to heaven. And everybody gets this with me, and I don't know why, but God made me this way, and I just got to be okay with it. God made my sister the way she is. God made Jesus the way he is. He made Jesus. He made, our dogs and cats the way we do. But instead of embracing everybody and just becoming people watchers and embracing how they're different and coming home and kissing your wife saying, I'm so glad that you're not like this with your kids, our kids. You know what I mean? By doing that and being exposed, like it'd be like if everybody had to go to jail for a year, come out, you're like, yeah, I appreciate my house, I appreciate my wife, I appreciate my fridge, I appreciate going to the grocery store, I appreciate the cell phone. And I've never been to prison out, but I've been where I've been in some sticky situations where I'm like, I'm out of this and I'm going without that, and this is getting turned off. And you have kids to worry about. And you have family members that weren't helping you out and come to find out they're stealing from you during that time. You're like, that's even worse. They're the ones calling CPS. It wasn't your ex-mother-in-law, your own sister. Wow. So I would never do that to her, unless she was really, really abusing the kids. Come on now. But yeah. So, and I'm not trying to be a goodie. I still smoke my cannabis. I still smoke my cigarettes. I'm trying to quit everything. I used to be an alcoholic. Amen. Pray to Jesus that he would make me sicker than the dog and never let me want it again. I needed his help. I was like, I tried it and I just drink more. I try to quit. I just drink more. I do whatever. I'm going to kill myself, Jesus. And I was at the point where I didn't care. And I was like, please just help me because I don't want to do this. I don't know why I'm torturing me. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. And I literally woke up and I was like, don't have no freaking shakes. Don't have no cravings. It literally was like, if I think about it, I get a headache. So I just didn't even, it was like that potent. I literally, within 2 days, I was like, that was Jesus. Because there's no way. And when you're at it, so when you're in pain and you pray and then you get out of pain, you don't say thank you afterwards. You just go back to your normal routine. Not me. Oh my damn, that migraine kicked my butt for that many hours. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. And I'm praying the whole time. And I know they hear. I know everybody hears. The 5D and 3D, we communicate. Everybody wants to think we're stupid, the tarot card readers and the spiritualists and people that believe in God and Jesus and the angels and our ancestors. But if I'm not doing anything wrong, not breaking any laws, and living my life, and I'm the happiest I could ever be, why would anybody want to come after me? And that's what I could not understand. And it was all over money. It's so sad. I was worth more dead alive than I was alive. Worth more dead than I was alive. And that was in everybody's eyes. That's just not on paper. That's just me because of the life insurance policy. That's me seeing how everybody treated me and how it changed. And, mind you, being with one family, being married to somebody for 16 years, like not married, but together with them. You get to see how it was when you're dating, and then how it is when you're engaged, and how it is when you're married, and then how when you have life traumas coming into your life, how everybody responds to those different issues. And when you get the bigger picture, and God says, there's your ticket to freaking heaven and the key to the door, bitch. Are you gonna go? And I'm like, not looking back. I'm not getting. I don't need to know all the details of why you're telling me to go. You've showed me enough. You've explained enough in our own little way of explaining stuff to each other. And I'm not going to doubt you. I'm alive to prove it. Amen. And then we're just going to be like, well, how? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like when you tell yourself, get up now. Not get up and hit the snooze. Not get up, oh, I think I have to go pee. Sometimes your body says get up and you're like, whoa, why? And then all of a sudden, 30 seconds later, your alarm goes off. And you're like, oh, well, I just get up. But you don't know. Your brain's not saying, well, the alarm didn't go off. Your brain's like, get up. Well, what's wrong? Why do I have to get up? But sometimes you think back, oh, that was badass. I want to do that again. Guess what starts happening? You start getting up before your alarm. And you're not grouchy. You want to beat that alarm. It might be a minute one day. It might be 30 seconds. And it might be a whole 7 minutes the next day. Who knows? But if you're one of those like, oh, I hate snooze. Yeah. I've just learned that. I'm like, oh, be one of those people that like, you know what? Make it a game. Make it fun. Everything I've done, I don't care if it's scrubbing down freaking toilets, people. Make it where nobody else would ever think of scrubbing toilets like that ever again. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, if you want to pay me to scrub these toilets and they got to be clean and you want them to be clean for everybody's health concern, why not freaking make it funny? Give them the little toilet paper thing, where they're like, oh, it's all fancy. Yeah, you're just at a gas station. That's how I would go. They can grab it easier, and then they're not wasting, and then they're not pulling. And they think I'm trying to be cute, decorate. I'm like, yeah, but it actually makes sense because it's just they have cheap damn toilet paper for these poor customers, and they can't pull it, and they're just wasting it. But if I do it like this, they seem to do just fine, like little kids. They seem to know how to wipe their asses just fine without help. And I just pick up on stuff like that, and people are like, "Oh, well, she's different. Well, she's doing like that. Well, who's she trying to impress?" I'm like, "No, you don't. You can do however you want to do your shit. You want them to waste toilet paper. You want them to be messy, and you want this. And it's your shift. You let them be however you want them to be. But on my shift, I'm gonna run it the way I freaking want. And if you say anything, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Think I'm weird. Think I'm different. I don't care." And then I find out 5 years later, you're the one stealing from the job, and you're the one on drugs, and you're the one. I was like, oh, just like a cheater. You know how they go after and they start accusing their spouse, and the spouse like, why you would accuse me? I've never done anything. I've never said anything. I've never even acted. No, they're flipping the script on you. Learn that too. Even your own parents will do that to you. Your own brother, your own sister-in-law, your own brother-in-law. It don't matter, people. It don't matter. Everybody's out for themselves. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you're freaking committed relationship. I don't care how you want to word it. If you're in love, yeah. But if it came down to it, how many people without going to the other please, let's reconsider. Well, I didn't say that. It's like you don't even think about it. You don't try to say both of you. It's like, well, it was one or the other. Now you're both getting it. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'd be like, oh, most people aren't like that. And here I am naive going, well, yeah, the police would do that, and the fire department would do that, and the judges, they take an oath, and that attorney that used to work for the government took an oath, and now he'd take another oath to do his job, and there's no way that, they would be fibbers, and my gosh, that judge needs to take his oath. Somebody needs to be up there with all these judges making them swear on the dang Bible. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking, people. And they got all these other people involved. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And God's like, hey, I try to warn you. Big news, big news. And I'm thinking it's just because of my family's businesses and all this other stuff. Like, oh, it's all about me. No. Grander scale. Grander. Yeah. When I say grander, I used to say, oh, there was 2 counties. I was like, no, it's 2 states. Valencia and Kern County included. Big. When you start thinking about it from a higher perspective. And nobody did that. Everybody just came out me going, oh, okay, let's go freaking do this. Let's go do that. And they thought they had a good plan, obviously, because they wouldn't have pulled it. I mean, give them some credit. But when it didn't come through, and then they're trying this, and I already knew they were coming at me, and they just kept, I was like, okay, well, let's see who's up to bat now. right? Can you bat left and right-handed, bitches? Are you that fucking talented? Let me know. Let's go for this. And then they're like, what? Well, nobody's ever, well, I am that person that will ask you that. I want to know before you get up to that, how bad do you think you are? So when I go to strike your ass out, I might show you a couple things where you're like, oh, well, next time I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to make them think I'm right-handed. And all of a sudden I'm going to go left and they're going to be like, what the heck? How do I pitch for this? How do I get this guy? I'm not used to that because he's a unicorn. Who does that? Right? But I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. It could be 1 and 8. It could be 1 and 2. I don't know what this kid's going to do. You better ask him. Do you know how to do this? And they don't know. They're like, yeah. Or no. And you're like, okay, now I know. Okay, this is what we got to do, guys. And they think I'm all sweet and innocent. And I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know why I asked that. And then after that, I was like, oh, crap. I guess I'm the picture. Oh, well, crap. I guess my job's this. And I didn't sign up for it. I never asked for any of this crap for my family, for me. Like I said, all I ever wanted people was just to treat people with kindness without acting like it was going to kill them or destroy them, by showing a little bit of gratitude, by showing a little bit of kindness. I don't care if it's animals, people, the environment. We use and abuse everything we have, including our own families. We can't just help ourselves. We think nobody's watching or nobody just doesn't care. That's what it stems down to. So God wants me to say, well, hey, if she's making it fun and it isn't that bad and we make it a mountain out of our freaking molehill and we're doing this and she's been through stuff, and if she can still come out with a little bit of grasp of happiness and sincerity that God is real and he does love us and he has a freaking sense of humor. I can write a book. That's what I should write a book, God's sense of humor, because it's just funny to me that some of a sudden I'm like, holy crap. It's not funny. You can laugh about it after you've been through it. It's like a woman having a birth, childbirth. She ain't gonna be talking about being right no drugs in the middle of that crap. And give her 10 years and she'll be like, yeah, that baby's head was like, well, because it don't hurt. You don't remember the actual pain. You don't physically remember no pain, people. You remember the experience. And God, like I said, if God wanted to be cruel, he could have freaking, every time we think about burning, it feels like we're burning. I mean, wouldn't that be some crap? But no, it's just a memory, and we can to learn to dwell on it and keep yourself stuck on that and never move on, or just move on saying, okay, that was a lesson learned and I don't ever want to be like that or have that happen to me again or anybody else. And defend yourselves. That everybody runs up their wife's skirts. I say that because my kids did that to my sister, so it doesn't have to be their wives. It could be their bosses, it could be whoever. They're just kiss asses and fakes and phonies. And nobody cares about them. So if they really realize, oh, I'm doing all this for nothing, and I'm still unhappy, nobody would be fake. They just think, hey, I'm not here making myself happy. Anybody else that sees it wants to join in, hey, come on. More the merrier. And you don't, then sorry, you're on the next train and it has nothing to do with me. You're on your own little trip there. You can go wherever you need to go in your own little lane. And you're not going to make me unhappy. I've been too unhappy for so long. God says, you want to be happy now? I'm like, yeah. Really? Really? But this and this. And he's like, no, just read the Bible. He already explained to us how things, like I always tell people, well, I say it to myself, I don't say it to people. I know where I'm at, I know where I've been, and I know where I'm going to be. And that's how the Bible is. The Bible says, okay, this is what it was. This is how it was, and this is what it's going to be. And everybody wants to make their sick, twisted, delulu, whatever, things about religion. And yes, religion isn't good, but Jesus is good. So, and there's other religions that don't believe in Jesus. So then I go back to, wow, like this world is just what the Bible said. Like I said, I didn't want to read the Bible before. I would go to sleep and I would be like mad, like, how come I can't read this crap? And it's not crap, it's the Bible. But now that I'm older, I'm like, dang, I need glasses and under my eyes. And I'm getting, but dang it, I feel so smart. And I wish I would have been me at 30 instead of 50. Oh, but God's like, no, you weren't ready.
You would have been the girl that punched the girl in the face. You still would have been do that as self-defense, and you don't need to be defensive over what your beliefs are. And it shouldn't be like that in the United States, anywhere in the world. If I want to go to McDonald's and say, thank you, Lord, for this beautiful, delicious breakfast, I never eat out. I got to eat out, even though it's McDonald's. I didn't cook. I didn't have to clean. You know what I mean? And mind you, I had to pay money for it and whatever. But there might be a time we don't have McDonald's, so enjoy it while you can. I haven't had McDonald's breakfast in years, so I was like, if I were to get it, I was like, oh, even though it might not be all that, what I remember, and I could probably do better at home. The fact is, I didn't have to cook and I didn't have to clean, and I was like, hey, I'm spoiled. People don't they just take everything for granted. Yeah, and it's sad they take their kids for granted. They want to live the life they've never had, so they do all this stuff on their kids, and it's just sad. And when you say something like, "Hey, lay off, don't be so hard," as far as being a straight A student and always being a straight A student, and then getting a B plus, and it's the end of the world, and your mom's coming down, and you're in trouble, and this and this and this and this, and now I'm like, "Whoa, back up there, mama!" Right? I mean, that's how. With my family, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like how they did this college exam where people were paying the uh, colleges, whoever they need to get the money for the tuition. The kids that didn't weren't smart enough or shouldn't attend the school. I was like, oh my gosh, no, it's gonna be way more what I thought. Something like that. I thought something like that was going on with my family. No, this is a little bit deeper and serious, and people are gonna have to realize they shouldn't have came at me. I try to warn them, but they just thought they'd get more people, more power, come up with more resources. It's all good. It'll work itself out. And it may not be this month and it might not be this year. But I just have faith no matter what, I'm gonna be taken care of. And it might be bigger and grander than I ever thought, or it might be just what I imagined. And I'm okay with that. I always say I'm not gonna dream big. People are like dream big. I'm like, no, I don't want to get disappointed. Because then I look at it, if it's better than what I thought, then that's just like a little cherry on top. And God doesn't disappoint me. I disappoint myself and believing in my family that they would be so rotten, giving them chances after chances after chances after chances after chances after chances. And by the 99th time, I'm like, okay, this is going to kill me if I keep doing this with these people. And God's like, that's what I wanted you to say. That's what I wanted to hear from you. I wanted to hear that you choose your life over all these other people's lives. Because continuing to do what they needed, they were gonna put me in the groove. Instead of helping people, they just my husband included. Instead of helping get alcohol, you don't go to freaking Costco and buy gallons and gallons of vodka and $1,000 worth of alcohol and keep it in your house at all times, just because you want to drink and you want to see something to me. And I'm like, oh, but then I prayed to God, and I'm cured, right? And I'm like, it still to this day makes me sick. Like I pray God, I'm like, oh yeah, because I could start out like that. I have that addictive personality. I'm like, oh no, 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 no. Let me keep smell my husband's nasty breath and me go, oh, and it making me sick. And it wasn't my husband, it was the alcohol. Or maybe it was my husband, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I keep doing that. You wonder, I tell you, oh my gosh. And you try all these different alcohols and you want to say, well, she's the one drinking. I'm like, you're the one sleeping in your truck. He got upset and slept in his truck. I was like, never thought my husband would ever do that, eh? He was drunk, and I've done some stupid stuff too. But I'd never go sleep in my truck in the backyard. When he's already sleeping in another room, people, he's not sleeping with me. He's already in his guest room, and he's still trying to sleep outside. I'm all, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking. I'm not his companion or timekeeper or any of the above. He tried to figure out what he did wrong all by himself and how he's gonna try to fix it. But he ain't gonna be able to. But like I said, yeah, and there's another attorney in where I live where they took $100 from me, never called me, never emailed me, never
wrote me, and they had the audacity to ask me who the presiding judge was. That's all he asked me, and took my $100. Yeah, I keep my receipt for everything, and that was on 5/9/2024. So that was 5 months before my divorce hearing. I was still trying to get an attorney to fix what was going on in the background. And everywhere I turn, well, who's the presiding judge? Well, what does that have to do with what I just told you? What does that have to do with anything of why I gave you $100? And I asked him before he walked out that door, well, what do you think? And this is what gets me. I knew. When I say my freaking instinct, people, I must have known that he was not going to call me back or email, like I said, or no correspondence, because I literally said before he's leaving, well, what do you think? Like, just give me something. And he still couldn't even give me that. And then nothing. Like it never even happened. And it makes me sick. I'm like, most attorneys give you, a favor, they give you a free consultation, or if you're going to change me $100, you can go tell me to go pound sound the next day. You can go tell me to go pound sound a week later, or put it in a letter, make it official. I don't care. Put it in an email. You made me fill out a questionnaire with all the crap that you needed to know. You didn't even read it. You took my $100 and then, okay, I'll get back with you. Raul Torres. And I already got a letter from, making complaints for the attorneys or the appellate court. There's stuff I look into. Like I said, I might not rock the boat. I might just let whoever the feds do what they need to do to be like, hey, show me how you work. I want to know what you guys are made out of. Because I've already sent my complaints with this crap, with all this other stuff with my family breaking the law. And nothing's ever been said or done towards me, like to let you know. Like, oh, like I said, should I really start telling on people? Like, do you really want the little black book on freaking the whole damn town before you guys do anything? I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. That they, the higher ups can't even correspond with you to say, oh, no, nothing to worry about. You're good. It was a mistake. Or no, it's because of this. And don't worry about it. I mean, it's on there and false reports. Put people in this and do this to people and ruin their freaking lives. Like, seriously, ruin their lives. And people are like, why does she look so good? I'm like, damn, people, I survived that crap. If you were in a plane crash and you're the only one that freaking survived, you might not be grateful right at when it's happening, but give it about freaking 16 years. You might be doing a little dance at the end of the freaking realize, whoa, I mean, it just now hit me. I'm grateful. Thank you, Lord. And God says it took you 16 years, baby, but it doesn't matter. You knew why you survived. People are like, oh, you're lucky. No, I'm freaking blessed, people. Ooh, I'm lucky. But yes, I love my love Pisces with Laurel, and I love Miss Linda, and I love Miss Megan. Like I said, I have my 5 go-to. And it's like they know me better than and my family. And I ask God, how is this even possible with energies? So it scares the crap out of me. It was with you. I'm like, I am not. It's like the Ouija board. I am not even thinking about it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want it in my house. I don't want to even think about it. Don't even talk about what the heck. And that's how I've always been. But when it comes to looking at bubbles, like this is no vote. Making bubbles, washing the dishes, I'm like, oh, my ancestors are around me, finding a penny. Don't ask me why I always thought that. Nobody ever told me. There was nothing like, there is now. It's just I kind of knew, like somebody's always looking at me. I didn't know if it was my grandma, my grandpa, the angels. I don't know. Somebody, it's just the neatest thing. Or like I say, just say something and then somebody else say it right after you. You're like, wow. But how does that work? I want to know how everything works. How does this energy work? If I were to say the Statue of Liberty, kid you not, YouTube comes on and they're like, and the Statue of Liberty got a new light bulb today. I'd be like, how does the ancestors, how? And I would start, and it's all God. It's the timing. It's not a coincidence because it happens all the freaking time. I could give you guys so many things. It's crazy. Like I said, the way I look at stuff and the numbers on the cards and then with the moon cycles. Not that I'm trying to buy a lotto ticket. or anything like that. It's just you notice, like, so for instance, I do my little thing and I have like certain numbers. Just say there's 5 different numbers, or maybe it was 7, 5 different numbers. And I don't think nothing of it. And Linda comes on the YouTube and she's like, this number and this number. And I'm like, yeah, why are you getting that number, Linda? And then she's telling me the number. I'm like, yeah, but why did I get the number? It's in my freaking deck. I'm like, oh, well, they wanted me to read that. But she was talking about something else. No, it's always with two type. It's always two with me. Two confirmations. Two, 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 two. If there's Roberts, there's going to be two Roberts. If there's two Lindas, there's going to be two Lindas. Kid you not, it's always double up with me. And at first I was like, oh, that's neat. That's neat. Now it's like, I'm waiting on that other one. I only got the one, Lord. Where's my other one? And boom, here it comes. So it's like the confirmation with me talking. It's like I didn't need confirmation, me saying Beavis and Butthead, but I got confirmation anyways. And then I'm like, why do I need confirmation on that? That's what confuses me. Why? Is there somebody named Beavis? Is there somebody named Butthead? Something happened with Beavis and Butthead that I don't know about? Like, why do I need to be worried about them? When I'm just saying somebody was being a butthead. And I was trying to be polite without saying anything horrible when they deserve everything. Vocabulary to match their actions that they've taken. And they've ruined so many people's lives. It's so sad. They've lied to so many people to get their way, to get what they want. And they're good at lying and they're good at, ass kissing and pretending and however else you want to put it. And people believe it. Facade. And I'm like, well, if you guys are in my shoes and you see what I see, you wouldn't say it. You would never do that to somebody. You'd be scared that somebody else is going to see right through you and call bullshit on you and not let you get away with it. So I'm like, why even try? Not these people. Give them the freaking actor awards, actor guild award or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. I'm not into that. Sorry. I'm not into a lot of stuff. I'm just trying to get through life and end up in heaven with my ancestors. That's all I kept with it. And I honestly grew up so naive. I thought that I would only know if God existed once I died. So I used to say, okay, God, when I die this, and when I die this, and when I still say it, I got to stop myself because it's not true. God is not going to make you spend 70, 80, 90 years of your life and not prove that he's real. If you're looking for him, and then you're like, oh, he is real. We'll see how I was right on your deathbed. It doesn't work like that. But we're just we got a little blinders on, and I'm like, oh, do you mean there's all this, and there's this, and there's this, and there's this, and there's all these little signs, and it's coming from everybody that cares about us from the 5D. Every little thing. I don't care if it's a little feather flying in the wind. I don't care if it's but the magic that my energy, I call it like a unicorn. I don't know why I just feel it sometimes, and then Miss Linda has it, and that's what I want. I want the scientists to prove so I can shut my husband up. I'm like, please just give me something in writing that says, yes, your brain works like this, and this is why this works, and we can't explain this other stuff, but it's got to be, admit it, it's got to be from something that you can't explain, like a UFO kind of thing, right? But it can be explained because I'm telling you where it's coming from. It's coming from the Most High. All my good ideas, people. I think of some funny stuff. I think of some good stuff. Yeah. And it doesn't come from me. It comes like, oh, well, I thought I was being slap happy. I thought I was being goofy. I thought I was just being silly. And they're like, no, you should run with that idea. And I think people have stolen my ideas before because I'm just like, oh, talking crap. And I'm like, I don't even think it's anything. And I'm innocent like that. And God's like, stop doing that. Keep it to yourself. Think about it. Is it plausible? Does it make sense? Could you really do that? And I was like, oh, no, because then I talked myself out of it. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want everybody to realize I would never harm anybody intentionally ever. And if I did by accident, oh my gosh, people, you guys don't even know. I mean, you don't. I was so sensitive as a child. I cried during Bambi. I cried at all the Disney movies. Dumbo made me cry. I was probably Sissy Lala, and I couldn't figure out why growing up I would get so emotional. Not all the time. It'd just be if my stepdad killed a Tweety bird with a gun, and I'm like, why did it happen? And he's like, well, whatever. He had his reasons. I really did hate that man for the longest time. I was like, why would you have to do that in front of me? Like, yes, I know you wanted to do that. Yes, you told me you're going to do it. But knowing it upset me, you did it right in front of me. And then I just started crying. And it was like, it's not going to bring the bird back. And my mom's like, why are you crying? You didn't have, it wasn't a pet. They did it toughen me up to shut me up. So I was like, okay, this is not working. You guys are making it worse. You guys are traumatizing me with this crap. Can't be just going around killing all these damn animals around me and having me pick out names and say, we're going to be eating your Maria in the freezer when you leave. I wasn't, like me growing up, I was like, oh, they're not our pets. But now that I'm older, I get it. You know what I mean? But growing up, oh my gosh, I'm like, you guys are cruel. And you should have done this and you should have done that. And I just keep it to myself and bite my nails and throw my hair and eat my hair. I had so many little things that I used to do when I was nervous and I couldn't figure out why. But I was like, quit doing that. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing it. Now that I'm older, I'm like, oh crap, you were going through some stuff, girl. And instead of your mom actually helping you like she should as a mom, she just made everything 10 times worse all the time. It's about her. Yeah. So it's all good. I don't resent anybody. I mean, I know where they're coming from, and I wish they wouldn't have done it. And they're gonna have their karma. They're gonna have their time in jail or prison, in hell, whatever. It's up to God. I don't want to make it worse. If me get involved and start hitting people again. I haven't done that in 30 years, people. 40 years. I haven't done that since I was like 17 or 18. I'm just saying, like, they think that I can get that mad. I'm like, no, I'll just close the door and you can call the freaking cops. Tell you to go pound sand. You weren't fucking invited. You're unwelcome. Why'd you have to come all the way out here to fucking try to kick my ass? I'm not going to do it. I almost want to see if you would, but I was like, oh no, that's starting shit again, Shannon. Like this nanner. Let's see how big and bad y'all want to be. Let's do it one-on-one though. You guys with this freaking 3 groups of 5, groups of 2, groups of 9, groups of 13, groups of 20 coming at me is not kosher. Let's just do one-on-one verbally. Sit down and have a discussion. Where are we? Where have we been? Why are we never going to pee again? And move on and be at peace. Like, yes, you're a dumb fuck. Yes, I forgive you. Okay, leave me alone. That's all I wanted. But they had to keep up because of the damn money and greed and stealing inheritances and poor Grandma Dewey. I'm so sorry. Yeah. My mom sold earrings for me at 5 years old, and she's never given to me. And she just thinks that she can just hold on to everything. And I got to the point, I'm like, I don't even care about it anymore. I do not care if I get them. I just want to keep asking you for it so it makes you feel uncomfortable knowing that I know that they're mine and you stole them and you have no right to have them. They weren't given to you. You were told when I was 5 years old when she turns 18. Well, I'm 50 years old, Mom, and you're 7 years old. And you still want to, who knows, maybe she sold them for freaking crack. For speed. Who knows? My mom, yeah, she won't do her jewelry. She still has all of her crap. But she'll get rid of all of our belongings. That's for damn sure. She'll keep her stuff going. Anyways, I'm going to get off before I start cursing again. But yeah, with this, I keep receipts that I write down on everything I fold. I have so many folders. So if I have to call about whatever, I write down the person's name. I write down the date. I write down the time. Because there is so many people involved, and it's been so long with all these, 3 judges this, and 3 attorneys this, and who has this assistant, and who has this clerk, and what about this year? Well, we're in a new year. You're talking about this October, last October. I mean, it got to the point where I'm like, yeah, where are these freaking folders at? Let me reminisce on what happened with this police officer, and why I had to call and have them respond to this, and what they said to me. Oh, but they get massages for my sister. And they go out drinking with my brother-in-law. Oh, and they go hunting out with my husband. Oh, well then that's why he did that. Okay, that's why he's not making a report. I mean, full on not making reports for me, people. Ignoring me like I'm crazy. So, but I took pictures and video, so it's okay. Because I'm not crazy, and I could not make this stuff up if I wanted to, if I tried. might have a good imagination, but it's me just enjoying like the clouds and whatever the atmosphere. It's not creating storylines of evil, twisted, sick, perverted losers that you call family. You know what I mean? Like, no. Like I said, but yeah, I love God. I love that He understands like everything they've come at me with. I didn't deserve. So it makes me feel good that I have somebody in my corner knowing that it was just too much over the top. And it's unforgivable. Like I forget it and I'm like, oh, I pray for you guys. I really do because I don't think He's gonna let this one go, guys. You guys just you broke too many rules with too many people, too many authoritative figures, too many higher ups. It affects way too many families. And who knows what else they've been doing that I mean, I have ideas. Like I said, I don't have the facts, but I'll get them. I'll wait for the feds to tell me. I'll find out during the trials. I'll be like, oh, wow, what was that? It'll probably be news to me too, but I'll know of it. Like, it's not good stuff and why you need to be in jail. Yeah. And why I'll probably be open to the protection program one day. I have to testify all this nonsense you guys freaking. As I said, I wanted them to come get these phones. There's so much crap on here, but like I said, they're smart. I mean, it's the freaking CIA and feds. And if not, something's wrong. Something's wrong. If they can't pull this crap off of my phone or their phones without me having to give it to them. But I ain't getting rid of them. I'm gonna keep it because I'm like, just in case. Because there's so much crap over the years, people. This has been going on. I was getting 2 texts and 2 phone calls. So it looks like if I made a phone call to you, I called and text myself, even though I called and text you. So it'd be you, me. I could call whatever pizza guy, it'd be pizza guy, me. And it got annoying. And I was like, the text too. It looked like it was coming from me. And I kept on telling my husband, why is it that my daughter's phone and your phone don't do this, but only my phone does that? My husband, So, and he knows. He just kept up and he shouldn't have stopped. He should have stopped me on my mom, my sister. You got so many people involved. Because he couldn't help. He's like a little looky-loo, what do they call peeping toms? He couldn't peep and tom and me no more in the house, so then he had to do it every which way he could. Tracking my car, Ford Sync. There's so much stuff. Anyways, hope everybody's doing a Friday night. Hi, Jimmy. I don't have my glasses, babe. Ooh. Hello, everybody. Let me turn this over. It's Friday night. What have you been doing, Jimmy? Are you still okay? I was just about to get off. I didn't think anybody was on here. That is so funny. I was just about to get off and go potty and have a cigarette. I hope everybody's doing good. No, it was for real, Jimmy. I hope you're doing good. You said you were sick last time. I hope you're not still in the hospital. Are you going home or what? Are you home now? In your apartment? Or are you still at the dang? I can't read it. Do I need to get it closer? Sorry, guys. I had it good. There we go. Jimmy P sent me. How are you doing tonight? Jimmy's 5-speed. Thank you for asking. So it's so weird because when I go on Jimmy, I'll have like blue lettering and it's easier for me to read. And on mine, it just says Jimmy and then it's all blurry. And then it's just, I didn't know it said Chevy. I'm like, does that say Chewy? I thought it said Chewy something. And I go down and I was like, oh, there's Chevy 5-speed. I'm like, wait, that matches. So yeah, you guys are all like, I don't know how to change the font to make them bigger. Or get glasses so I could see it better. I'm just on here talking to myself. Chevy, I'm Jimmy's friend. I know who you are, Chevy 5-speed. You're from Canada, huh? from Ontario, or why do I want to say New Brunswick? I don't even know where that's at. It's somewhere in Canada, but I don't think it's in Ontario. Is that a different province? I feel stupid now. Or was it Quebec? Somebody was from Quebec. Maybe it was, who is his other friend that Jimmy P has that's beside his Chevy 5-speed? It was. Wasn't it the Maximedius or Max? I don't know. I'm probably just talking crap. He's still at the rehabilitation. Thank you, Chevy 5-speed. Yeah, because we're in March now, and I thought he said in February he was gonna be able to get back home. And then I seen a video of him. He was doing something with crutches. He was like learning how to walk again, or what do you call it? Like get strong again, so he could start doing the crutches. And that's the last time I heard, like, seen. It snowed today, and then it melted, and then it snowed again, and it stayed. No, we normally get a lot of snow out here, and we didn't get a lot of snow this year, so it was kind of different. But it came. I'm just glad because when it's melted, I had to do my errands. So I'm glad that. I'm glad. Yeah, happy camper. Do you guys know what green chili? Green chili? I'm just curious. Because I didn't know until I was like, I don't know. My ex-husband showed me what it was. It was really good on, he likes it on, he used to eat on pizzas and cheeseburgers. But I like making pork and potato and green chili. It's a stew. And then you make the tortilla and put cheese in a bowl. You can put refried beans. You can make it a wet burrito. It's so good. I made that today or yesterday, actually. And I have that for leftovers. Okay, I'm gonna get off. I don't know if there's anybody. Oh, there is nobody on here. Okay. Here I feel stupid. I was talking. Okay. Guys. Bye. Okay, I'm gonna get off the live stream. I'm just trying to see they have all kinds of emojis in everywhere. You know what I'm clicking on people? It's all like blacked out, like grayed out. And it says search emojis, and it says YouTube, but it doesn't have color, and I click on it, nothing happens. So maybe you do gotta. People. Nature. Oh, that's like, oh, maybe they grayed out because I don't have it. Okay, that's weird. Oh, wait, here's some. Yes, you know, I just didn't go down. Oh. Okay. Oh my gosh, I've been talking. Good night, everybody. Love you. Happy Friday, March 7th. If you feel like stressing out again, I'll come see everybody.